you don't feel like you're running out of time. That's the problem. If time announced itself loudly, if it knocked on your door and warned you, if it scared you early, most people would change. But time doesn't do that. Time is polite. It waits while you're distracted. It passes while you're busy. It disappears while you're planning. You don't notice it leaving. Until one day, something feels wrong. Not dramatic, not tragic, just heavy. You wake up, and the day feels shorter than it used to. Weeks feel thinner. Years feel closer together. And you don't know why. You tell yourself you're still young. You still have time. You'll figure it out later. Later is the most expensive word you've ever used, because later always feels far away, until it suddenly isn't. This story is not about death. It's about delay. It's about the quiet way people lose their lives without ever losing their heartbeat. There was a man who believed he had time. Not infinite time, just enough. Enough to try someday. Enough to change eventually. Enough to become who he wanted to be later. He wasn't careless. He wasn't reckless. He was patient. And patience felt responsible. He worked, paid bills, showed up where expected. Life didn't look broken. It just didn't move forward. Every year he told himself the same thing. This year taught me a lot. But nothing changed, because learning without action is just memory. He had dreams once, real ones, not vague wishes, clear visions of a different life. But he never chased them urgently, because urgency felt dramatic, and he didn't want to be dramatic. So he waited for the right time. The right time never argued back, never demanded effort, never embarrassed him. The right time was comfortable. Years passed like that, quietly. He didn't notice time moving because nothing bad was happening. No crisis, no collapse, just postponement. And postponement feels harmless. Until one night, sitting alone, he realized something terrifying. He couldn't remember when he stopped trying. There was no moment, no decision, just a slow fade. Like volume lowering without you touching the dial. That's how time steals from you. Not in chunks, in grains. You don't feel the first grain, or the 100th. You feel it when the pile is gone. He started noticing signs. Music didn't hit the same. Birthdays felt quieter. Conversations felt repetitive. He began to say things like, "Time flies," but what he really meant was, "I wasn't paying attention." One evening, he ran into someone he hadn't seen in years. They talked about the past, old plans, old jokes, old dreams. And then the question came, "So, did you ever do it?" He smiled, said, "Not yet." That "yet" was a lie, because deep down he knew. He wasn't afraid of failing anymore. He was afraid of admitting how much time had already passed. You don't panic when you think you have time. You panic when you realize you spent it. Time doesn't warn you when you're young. It lets you believe in unlimited retries. It lets you restart without consequence. Until one day, restarts feel heavier. Because you're not restarting from zero anymore. You're restarting from regret. That night, he couldn't sleep. Not because he was anxious, because he was honest. He replayed moments he dismissed, days he delayed, chances he postponed. Not because they were impossible, because they were inconvenient. He realized something painful. Most of his life wasn't ruined by mistakes. It was shaped by indecision, by waiting, by assuming there would always be more time later to fix what he ignored now. Time didn't take anything from him. He gave it away. In exchange for comfort, in exchange for certainty, in exchange for avoiding discomfort. People think running out of time looks like aging. It doesn't. It looks like routines hardening. It looks like settling, becoming normal. It looks like saying, this is just how life is. That's time winning. Because time doesn't need you to quit. It just needs you to delay long enough that quitting becomes unnecessary. One morning, he woke up and realized something terrifying. He wasn't behind schedule. There was no schedule. No deadline except the one he never acknowledged. Life doesn't give progress reports. It just keeps moving. And one day, you're not early anymore. You're late. Not late for an appointment. Late for yourself. You don't feel young forever. You feel young until you don't. And that moment doesn't announce itself. It sneaks up quietly. He remembered being younger, thinking older people were dramatic. They had time, he thought. Now he understood. They didn't lose time suddenly. They lost it slowly, while believing they still had enough. Time is not fast. You are distracted. Time doesn't accelerate. Your awareness decelerates. And one day, it stops. That's when panic starts. Not loud panic. Existential panic. The kind that sits in your chest at night and asks questions you avoid answering. What if this is it? What if I don't change? What if I waited too long? Most people answer those questions by numbing themselves. More work, more scrolling, more noise, anything but silence. Because silence reminds you that time is still passing, whether you face it or not. He didn't suddenly become productive. He didn't transform overnight. Something deeper changed. He stopped lying to himself about time. He stopped saying, someday. He stopped negotiating with later. He realized urgency isn't stress. Urgency is clarity. Urgency is knowing this moment matters because it will never come back. You don't need fear to change. You need honesty. Honesty about how much time you've already used. Honesty about how much you've wasted pretending you weren't wasting it. Running out of time doesn't mean you're doomed. It means you can't afford illusions anymore. And illusions are expensive. They cost years. The moment you truly feel time, something shifts. Not motivation, responsibility. You stop asking, will this work? And start asking, is this worth my time? Because time is the only thing you can't earn back. Money returns. Energy recovers. Confidence rebuilds. Time doesn't. Every day you delay becomes permanent. That's not scary. That's real. And reality is what finally wakes people up. You're not running out of time tomorrow. You're running out of time right now, in this moment, while you're listening, while you're deciding, while you're thinking about starting later. Later is already costing you. This isn't pressure, it's truth. You don't need to rush, but you do need to move. Because life doesn't punish you for failing. It punishes you for waiting too long to try. And one day, whether you like it or not, time will stop asking. It will just take. The question is simple. When you look back, will you remember waiting, or will you remember choosing?